Welcome back to What Arty Noobs for General Disturbance. This is the Hummel, the Tier 6 German SPG. This one's located on the north spawn of Ruinberg, and it's under the command of talon1958. And yes, this is another in the series of replays featuring Talon and Angelina's contest for the weekend lie-in. And this is the first submission this week, I believe, from Talon. Game on. 15cm howitzer. He's got the stock gun, which of course, as we all know, is much more effective than the top gun. The top gun actually does have a bigger alpha, it has 600 alpha, but the stock gun actually only has 480. This is the same howitzer as you'll find on the Gorilla, the Tier 5 German SPG. But that means it's got a better trajectory as well, much higher, and it's also got a faster reload and more shells. So it's a much better Arty altogether, really. He's looking for a target. I think he's found one. A Cromwell who's sitting in that bush and thinks he's safe, but he's not. In fact, he's about to find out. Rounds out. Well, it landed a short distance away, but you can see he actually got a nice shot on that the village from all the way over the other side of the map. Okay, next target's the same Cromwell. He pulled back from behind that building, or is it a different Cromwell? Well, there's two Cromwells there now. It might be a different one. In fact, I think that team is overloaded with Cromwells. Yes, there's quite a few of them. There's the one I think he fired at there. Now, if he fires now, that shell will more than likely hit that roof rather than hit the target. But he's going to fire one in there. And that effectively tells those Cromwells that it's not safe being behind those buildings. There's not many enemy tanks in the town centre at the moment, which is surprising. I think the enemies decided not to go in there. They're focusing on the village. There's a large number of our mediums have gone over there. And now Talon's trying to get a shot at that Porlac tank. He can't really get close enough to do a huge amount of damage. Now he can. Rounds out. Steel Waffenträger takes a direct hit. 230 hit points. Now, as you may know, the contest is held every week. It's actually for the highest mastery that you can get. And if the masteries are matched, then it's medals. And if medals are matched, then it goes to the win 8. If you win an ace tanker, that wins the game outright straight away. So they're all trying to get that ace, which they can do. We've seen many ace tankers from Talon and from Angelina. Each of them have their own favourite Arty, though, that they love to play to get the good results. Talon loves playing the Hummel. Angelina seems to play the 2128 a lot. Oh, that was close. If those guys had actually not moved, then there was a good chance that he would have got some damage on them. As it is, our BK3002M's now gone in, and unfortunately, it's a ding-dong battle on this corner. But Talon's going to be able to launch around in there very shortly. Rounds out. And he gets a direct hit. Well, it said close, actually, so it must have landed off the target. But it certainly did 151 hit points of damage to the Porlac, but he didn't get any stun assist off that one. So now he's going to aim for the Waffenträger, which means he should take this guy out with this shot. Rounds out. Yes, he does. Thin armor on the steel Waffenträger. Oh, now look at that. The enemy M44 worked out where Talon was and managed to counter battery him. And that shell came in out of nowhere. Didn't get any warning that the enemy Arty was firing in this direction, but then Talon didn't move after he was making his shots. Well, it didn't move very far, and as a result, that counter battery was effective. So, yes, he said he drove right into it. Not a lot he could have done there, because there wasn't much room for him to move about. But I suppose we're just now going to see this battle play out. At least he got one kill out of it. The steel weapon trader did die before he did. And it does look like his team is going to win this one. Kind of makes me feel that the enemy actually undercommitted to the town centre and overcommitted to the field and to the village, and as a result they lost out. Now I'm not sure what that Super Hellcat's doing. I think he's not active. Well, the Porlock tank did take a hit from the Super Hellcat and the enemy team, and oh, there's two of them. He's getting double tagged, but yes, fires one back and he's out the game. Yes, I still think this one is going to go to Talon's team. That Cromwell, yeah, he's firing at the Cromwell. And that Cromwell's down, which now frees the E-25 to engage the Super Hellcats. And that will be the end of the game. And there's another enemy E-25 over there as well. Goes straight past the VK. Kind of ignoring it. And the E-25's down. VK comes around the corner, trying to get the E-25. Big mistake. It is the VK3002D, which is the one with the 88mm gun. He's taking damage from somebody. Not sure who was actually firing at him then. It may have been the Super Hellcat. Here we go. Last enemy tank. Everyone's flocking to get that Super Hellcat. And there's the kill shot from the IKV-90B. Here's the end of battle results, and that was only a third-class tanker for talon1958 in the Hummel. Yes, he did die prematurely because he got counter-batteried by the enemy M44, took him out with one shot, but then he was in a fairly easy and predictable place to be, sitting right there in the corner, and I'm pretty sure the M44 saw the tracer and thought, yep, I know exactly where he is, and put the round in. So, only a third class, but that does set the lead for this competition for the moment. And the win 8, 1,169. If we can just look, you can see he didn't get a full game because he actually got counter-batteried fairly early. So he only got 748 hit points and one kill. But he was actually on course to get maybe a first class or even possibly an ace tanker if he did enough damage. We can see in detailed report that he only fired 7 shots. He would have expected to fire at least 11 or 12, maybe 13 shots in the regular game. So he missed out on the damage that those other 5 shots would have done. And also on credits, well, he made a profit because he got a mission completion. Otherwise, if he hadn't had that, then he would have come out with just 19,460 credits. But he earned 69,460. And on XP, he came out with 1,386. So that's the end of the first game. Let's have a look at the second one. The second battle is in the GW Panther, the Tier 7 German SPG, and we're on the west spawn of Airfield. Now this map has actually changed quite dramatically since they brought in 1.20 or 1.20. Yes, they've restructured everything in the top half of the map near the airfield itself, the airstrip, and it makes it much more difficult for Arty to score direct hits on the enemy, except of course the standard features, which are the temple mount right in the center of the map. That's still the same. You can see there's much more places that enemy tanks can hide. Trying to get the KV-3, but just a fraction of a second too late. I think Talon will be a little more careful to relocate after every shot from now on, simply because he got taken out. But this game was actually a little while later than the previous one. But yes, you do tend to remember that you were taken out because you didn't move. Talon actually said at the end that he should have backed up instead of moving forward. But either way, there was virtually no warning that a shell was incoming. You didn't hear the rumble from the enemy Arty, and there was no warning because he didn't have detection set up. Well, that was close enough to get some stun on the AMX 1375. Even if he had backed up, I'm not so sure he would have escaped without any damage, because that M44 seemed to place the shell exactly where it would do the most. Okay. And Super Hellcats decided to go up onto Temple Mount. Rounds out. Oh, that was a direct hit. Now, as we know, Super Hellcats do not have much in the way of armor. Very, very thin armor indeed, about 20 millimeters. And these shells are capable of penetrating 39 millimeters of armor, and they'll do 600 alpha, which means that that Super Hellcat probably took a very big hit, possibly a penetrating hit, and he may be very badly damaged now. And Talon may have earned himself a nice amount of damage. Okay, there's that 1375 again, but he's moving very quickly, as you'd expect. There's the T-71. Now, where is that Super Hellcat? He's aiming for the T-71. Bounce out. The shell went to the right. Didn't actually strike the target. Didn't hit the aim point. But notice how he's changing position quite nicely. Now, I read something the other day about why we didn't see any GW Panthers, and why there were fewer tank destroyers than we would have expected of various types of tank. And it turned out that Guderian, General Guderian, the top German general, was very much against any of the tank lines being used to manufacture vehicles other than tanks. And that's why he opposed the production of the Jagdpanzer IV instead of actually producing more Jagdpanzers, Panzer IV. He's got his first kill on T-71, nailed him from behind. Yes, apparently that's why he actually opposed the Jagdpanzer IV in the start, mainly because he needed more Panzer IVs, and so he opposed it. And the same was true for the Panther. That's why we don't see so many Jagdpanthers in the game. Well, not in the game, we do see them in the game, but why there weren't that many. They only produced about 480, I believe, Jagdpanthers, but they produced thousands of Panther tanks. And it was mainly down to the fact they were being produced on the same production line, but all they took was the hull of a Panther and then changed it around by turning it, putting a casemate around it and a very big gun to be able to act as a Jagdtiger or Jagdpanzer. Well, he got a direct hit there on. I didn't see who it actually was. Was it the KV-3 or the M2? I think it was the M2Y he hit there. And another direct hit which wasn't spotted, so we don't know the true value of it. Now, the Soviets did the same actually with their tank destroyers. The Su-152 was also another tank made from the from a hull of a heavy tank. But in the Su-152's case, that was a KV tank that was actually converted, and the ISU was from the IS series of tanks. Of course, as you know, the Su-85 and the Su-100s were both made from T-34 hulls that were converted into tank destroyers. The Soviets didn't have any trouble with it, no, mainly because what the Soviets were doing was taking the same tank was being produced at multiple factories throughout Russia, and then they were shipping them in by rail. So it didn't matter if one of the production lines and one of the factories was producing tank destroyers instead of actual tanks. They just needed vehicles. And of course, the tank destroyers that the Soviets built were mainly used as self-propelled guns, actually. They were used for indirect artillery fire. Well, that was close to that 1357, but he didn't get a direct hit, and it's now looking like their team's collapsing. They've only got 4 left, including Talon, and I don't think he's expecting to last very long. Now it's only 3 left. They just lost their units. I think this game's going to end very shortly. Yes, the enemy are very close. And Star 2 goes down. So Talon might get some more hit points. Oh, but does he? Does he get some more hit points? Yes, but unfortunately, what he couldn't see was that there was an AMX 1357 shooting him in the ass. And that little proctology examination unfortunately ended his game. Okay, the last remaining player on his team is an SU-130 PM. Just took a round from that AMX 1357, but now he's got a KV-3 behind him, and that's the end of the game. So that was not a very successful battle, because all that Talon managed to get was a bruise medal out of it. And that was it. His win rate was only 1,182, and he says, thanks for changing the map. Yes, I don't think he was quite ready for that change in the map. As I said, I have played games on the new Airfield map myself. There are places where you can get good firing, good shots on the enemy, but I think it all depends on what you focus on. I tend to focus on the tanks that are actually in the middle of the map, whereas Talon was trying to focus on all areas of the map and trying to help out the heavy tanks over in the heavy tank alley. And, well, it's fairly difficult to actually get shots where you used to be able to get good shots. And so now you have to focus on the low-hanging fruit, which is the light tanks and medium tanks that go to the center of the map. So, anyway, we can see that Talon did get some damage in the game. He did get 1,091 hit points, and he got 2 kills out of the game, which is, well, only the E25 in his own team actually also managed to get 2 kills, so it actually places him amongst the higher echelons of his own team. But when it came to this game, this team was just so much better than Talon's team was. And if we look at detail, we can see Talon fired 12 rounds, so he did get a fair number of rounds out, but he only got 4 direct hits on the enemy, and none of them penetrated. That was the annoying thing. He didn't even penetrate that Super Hellcat, the one that he fired at. That was the blind shot, and he got 264 hit points from that. It should have penetrated the armor on the Super Hellcat. Maybe it just hit the wrong spot. It could have actually hit the tracks instead, and that blocked his shot from doing much damage. But anyway, we can see from that 12 shots, he did get 1,091 hit points, and he earned 3,217 credits profit, 25 bonds for mission achievement, and 510 XP. But unfortunately, this doesn't move him any further forward in the contest with Angelina. But he has submitted a 3rd replay, so we'll go into that one right away. And the 3rd replay, Talon's in the S-51, the Tier 7 Soviet SPG, and he's on the southwest spawn of Westfield. Game on. Well, as you know, this Arty was made from the KV-1S. Was it the KV-220? No, it's the KV-1S hull. And unfortunately, they just couldn't make it work because the gun was too powerful and the hull wasn't strong enough to actually withstand the recoil. They even tried fixing 2 KV-1Ss together to try and give it a bit more stability, but it just shook them apart as usual. Now, going up this high does actually give you, well, a bit of range on the enemy. But the unfortunate thing is that it does make you fairly visible if the enemy gets close. Those trees are much better. Now, VK3001P, now a heavy tank, used to be a medium. Oh, that was a good hit. That was a superb hit. 199 hit points of damage, 231 stun assist, and Talon's changing position to avoid counter battery. Now, this is the BR2 howitzer. It's 152mm caliber. How can I tell that? Well, it's the long barrel. And of course you get more rounds with this Arty than you do with the Top Gun. And he set light to the AMX AC-46 with a penetrating shot. And look at that score, went up massively because he got 269 from the fire. and then the T-29 put the guy out of his misery. So fantastic game so far. He's already accumulated 1,082 hit points of actual damage on the enemy. Okay, his next target, KB3. Dialing in. Talon's always very careful, always very precise. He's fully dialed in. Rounds out. Is there anybody there? Yes, there was. A direct hit on the rear. That KB3 is hurting right now. And Talon's changing position. Yes, this makes a much better Arty than the GW Panther, I would say, because it's got a narrow arc, but it's actually with those 30 shells, it actually can do a lot of damage to the enemy, and it dials in fairly quickly. 244, direct hit right into the side, 211 hit points. The GW Panther does have a wide arc of fire, which enables you to align on the target faster. It's a very narrow arc on the S-51. It's only 4 degrees either side of the center line, and that means that you've got a lot of moving about if you want to assign a new target. But you see he's fully dialed in fairly quickly, and he got a direct hit, the Su-122, unless somebody was sitting alongside him. The standard reload time is 23.97 seconds. Talon's got it down to 19.64. Penetration's 13.8mm, not the 39 that you get from the GW. Of course, these are much better as well than the M12 as well, because the M12 doesn't get us enough ammunition to actually do the job. You only get, if I remember correctly, from memory, 20 rounds of ammunition with the M12, which is a bit sad because the thing is, although there wasn't a lot of carry space on the M12, the fact is that it did have trucks to assist it and they carried the ammo. And the same is true for the S-51, although, as I said, the S-51 never really got put into production because, of course, they could never get it to work properly. But there again, neither did the GW Panther because they never built it. It's a fictitious, well, it's not a fictitious Arty. They did design it. It would have been built, but for the fact that, of course, the tank generals, Guderian and the like, said, no, we want more Panther tanks, not Arty. He wasn't really an Arty man. He was more of a tank man, a bit like a lot of the players in World of Tanks. Lining it up, rounds out, looks good. Oh, landed short. He did get some stun though. He was counting on that KB3 backing up just a little bit more and walking into the shell. Keeps going back to that AC-46 rather. Now it's not going too well at the moment because there are 2 tanks down on the enemy. And this could be better. 2 tanks together. He's almost fully dialed in. Rounds out. Oh, the shell went long. Only stunned the Panther. I think he's just going to sit here and wait for the reload to go in. That's a VK3002D, the Daimler version. And that, of course, means he's probably got the 88mm gun. It's a tier 7 game with tier 6 tanks in it. And there goes the Panther. Yes, he actually hit the Panther this time, even though he couldn't see the guy. The VK3002D just backed up behind his teammate, and his teammate became instant armor. Which, of course, well, I suppose this is the correct move to make. Narrowly misses him there. Only 1 tank down. Oh, well, we were only 1 tank down. Then we were 2 tanks down, and then we're 1 tank down again. But this time round, Talon might be able to change that if he can hit the Skoda that's hiding behind that building at the moment. Rounds out. Oh, he got him! Yes, he got him! He moved position, but he still got him with splash. And that means they are now even. Now, somebody's in there because the tree just fell, and I'm sure Talon saw that. So he's going to lob a shell in there and see if he can hit something. And it looks like the Cromwell did get stunned. Oh dear, we just lost our 88 to their GW Panther. Notice how the hit points are now virtually even. So they've turned things around a lot with Talon shots. And of course, remember that he got 2 kills out of it. Okay. Now he does have to be slightly worried at this point because Cromwell is getting rather close. And there's a possibility that Cromwell might have been so upset by that last shell that he wants some revenge. Okay, waiting for the 244 to make a decision which side round he's going to go. The Sture Mill, he's actually just tempting the guy to come around the corner. Oh, the Cromwell did decide to come and say hello, but we'll go and ram him if we can. Oh, he tried the shotgun.
We're done for. Everyone get out.
Unfortunately, the Cromwell was able to avoid the shell and he exploded Talon. That was a real detonation of his ammo rack. And that means the Cromwell's just ended up with a demolition badge for that one. Sadly, that means that it is the end of Talon's game. But it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to lose this one. They're still even on their hit points. The enemy did lose their Cromwell. He got wiped out. We didn't see that actually happen. But there's a distinct possibility they might actually win this game. Well, there goes the 244 because the Sture Mill finally managed to nail him. I think he tempted him long enough, and it looks like the GW Panther just managed to put a round into the Sture Mill because he's lost a fair number of hit points. Now, remember that SU-122-44? The one that Talon hit with a blind shot? Well, he's somewhere in the vicinity. And this is what the T-29's hiding from at the moment, because he doesn't want to get hit by that 122mm gun, because it's actually quite powerful. There's the SU-122. Okay, T-25 saw him, pumps one round into him. He's only a one shot now, but I think the T-25's under fire. It does take him out, but there's an IKV over there. And remember, that guy's got a 90mm round. Oh, he's gone! And now they've only got the Arty left on the enemy team, which means it's almost a certainty that they're going to win. I say almost. Never count your chickens. Mainly because Arty has a way of equalising a game. And I kind of get the feeling now that this team is all going to converge on the enemy cap at the same time, in which case the Arty are not going to be able to do much to save the game. They might get some hit points, they might get a kill or two. That T-29's looking kind of vulnerable. I would expect one of the Arty to nail him, but even after they've nailed him, all they've got left is a ram. Even our SU-8's turned up at the cap area to try and get them. Oh, there's the Hummel. He's way over the other side. And the Sture Mill finishes him off with one shot. The only other RT is the GW, and he has been successful throughout the game. Even though he's only got one kill, I think he's got a lot of damage. And I think he is over in this corner. We're about to find out. There he is. And that's spotting damage to the T-25 too, and the Sture Mill claims another kill. Here's the end of battle results, and that was a much better game for talon1958 in the S-51, even though he got destroyed fairly early on. Well, fairly early on. It was towards the end of the game. But he did get a first-class tanker out of that game, as well as a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 12. And he got a Confederate as well out of that one, hitting more of the enemy than anyone else on his team. And that's despite the fact that he got 2 kills in the game. And that means that he definitely hit a huge amount of the enemy tanks. His win rate, very high indeed. 3,057, that's Super Unicum standard. Much more what we'd expect from Talon. Let's have a look at team score. Well, he did do very well on damage. In fact, he was second highest. The Sture Mill managed to get a Pascucci's medal and 2,326 hit points of damage. So he was the highest scorer in the game. Second highest scorer was Talon with 1,978. So some of those blind shots must have been very, very good indeed. And of course, that AMX AC-46 actually was one of his big scorers in terms of damage. And of course, he got the Confederate. Third highest on damage turned out to be the ME Hummel with 1,932. So he was playing quite well. And their GW Panther was also playing well with 1,190. When it came to kills, we can see that the high scorer was the Sture MV7X. He was one short of getting a top gun in that game. 5 kills to him, 1/3 of the enemy team. Second highest, in joint second highest place, is Talon with 2 kills. The Striv M4257, the T29, the Scorpion, the Cromwell, and the Skoda T25. So, yes, a lot of players managed to get 2 kills. In fact, I think that's the Cromwell that actually killed Talon. We can just do a quick check when we... no, it's that one we need to look at. Yes, it is that guy. Yes, you can see it there. That's the guy who killed him. He claimed 2 kills, one of those kills being Talon in the game. And, yes, so he did very well. Let's have a look at the score for that guy. Anyway, 5,688. Very good for that Sture MV7X player. When it came to base XP, it was actually Talon who came out on top. 956 base to him, 952 went to the Sture MV7X, and the third highest was the Striv M4257 733. Now, the reason I think Talon did well out of that one was because he did get some stun assists out of this game. Some of his teammates were firing at the tanks that he was actually firing at. He fired 12 rounds, got 6 direct hits on the enemy, 1 penetrating shot. The penetrating shot was that AMX AC-46. Yep, there you go, 883. That's the result of the damage and the fire that he managed to get. And he also got 11 splash damage of 1,978, all of it at more than 300 meters. He received 3 hits. All of them came from that Cromwell, and they all penetrated, went straight through. Even though it's a heavy tank, it does have the gun mounted on top, and that is part of the hitbox. So, yes, if you can aim at that, you can wipe the vehicle out fairly quickly. In fact, you can do it with just HE rounds. But don't try to ram an S-51 because it is a heavy tank. If you're in a light tank, don't ram an S-51. You will come a cropper. 9 enemy vehicles were damaged, 2 were killed, so it was an easy Confederate because there's a 7 difference there. 543 hit points of stun assist off 10 stuns, and that's earned him the first class. I think if he'd earned just a bit more stun assist, I think he probably would have got an ace tanker out of it. 40,175 credits from the game, and after repair and ammunition resupply, took away 20,379 credits profit, 1,434 XP for the battle, times 2 for the first victory, 2,868 for mission completion, and 5,736 experience points altogether. So he had a very good game in the S-51, and that definitely puts Talon in the lead and very likely to win the Weekend Lion unless Angelina can come up with an ace tanker. She's really going to have to pull everything out in order to get it, because once Talon's got a first class, the only way that she can beat him is to either get a first class and either 2 medals, or a first class, a Confederate, and a much higher win 8. And I think she's going to be pressed to do that. So Angelina is going to have to look for an ace tanker. But she can do it. I know she can do it because we've seen her do it before. So let's hope that she can come up with a replay that will beat Talon. I hope you enjoyed all those replays. If you did, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.